really pumped to be here tonight. I moved a lot of things around as a matter of fact, I moved a lot of things around. I made plans around this night. And so any activity, any event, any opportunity that I had that has arisen in the last month, I made sure that it didn't conflict with this one because I was looking forward to being here with you all tonight. And so I'm excited tonight. Every now and again I get real excited. And so if I get too excited tonight, here's what I'd like for you to do. This means, if you do like this, it means make a landing. It means to calm down because I might get too excited. So you'll feel free to do that. So I'll look to my right, I'll look to my left, I'll be looking out front. If I get a little amped up, just kind of do like this and I'll calm down. But it's a real pleasure to be here. As my brother introduced, I spent about 1.5 years here on campus, and it is real symbolic. This place is really symbolic to me. It represents some cataclysmic moments in my life, and so this place has a special place in my heart. It's amazing how large this place has gotten. This was the gym when I was here. And this is where we balled at. So this is amazing. Just the choir. I don't know if we had a student choir. If we did, maybe I just didn't know it. The dancers, the praise dancers, you all did a wonderful job. Would you give them a hand clap? That was awesome. Hey, it's tough to get up in front of your peers and to do your thing. So yeah, I appreciate that. Let me just go ahead and get some of the protocol out of the way. Let me recognize the president of this university. Is it President White? I got it right? Sweet. President White. I want to recognize Mary Williams. Is she? Go ahead, Reverend Mary. Mary, Reverend Mary. Okay, Reverend Mary. All right. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity. And where's my coach at? Where's Coach Place? In the back. Sir, it's good to see you always. Good to see you always. I'm not going to be in front of you long. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into what I believe God is asking me to say tonight. So let me go ahead and pray, and then we'll jump right into it. God, thank you again for this night. Indeed, it is yours. I do pray, whatever it's been like for us today, that we've been very careful, we've been very cautious at keeping you at the center of whatever it is that we've experienced today. Thanks for all of these amazing students who gathered here tonight. We do pray that you would speak to us in a unique and profound way. Allow us to quiet our souls and allow our spirits to stand still long enough to hear what you have to say. We trust that you'll speak. In your son Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I was here some time ago. And the last time that I was here, I asked a group of guys, as a matter of fact, it was the football team in specific. I asked those guys, what do you see? And I asked them the question, what do you see? Because I believe that God gives us a glimpse of his preferred future for our life. I asked them, what do you see? Because I believe God has a specific and unique purpose for all of us. And so I wanted us to wrestle with this question, what do you see? And I kept asking these guys that question over and over and over again, what do you see? And because I happened to be talking to the football team, we took a page from the retired Hall of Famer, or soon to be Hall of Famer, Ray Lewis. And Ray Lewis said it's tough to beat a man or a group of men when they see something. We can translate that tonight. It's tough to beat a person or a group of people when they see something. And so I've been thinking about this, and I've been asking this question. It's a pretty simple question. Most of you heard it a great deal of part of your life, a great part of your life. And it's a question that we often ask kids. We even ask high school students this question. We ask the question, so what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Right? How many of us have heard that question? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? It seems like a trite question. Seems like a small question. But let's think for a moment to see how small that question really is. Let's pause for a moment to see if that question is really a trite question. So what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Think for a moment. Are you right now on course to be what you said you would be? Dreamed you'd be? Doing what you said that you would do? Are you on pace? Are you on target to do what you believe you've been called to do? Dreamed you'd be doing? Said that you would do? Stephen Covey said it this way, the late Stephen Covey. He's deceased now, but Stephen Covey said this. Stephen Covey said that we ought to begin life with the end in mind. In other words, each day we ought to be driven in the direction of our destiny that we believe God has given us. I don't know about you, but that's good for me right there. I'm 44. Each day that we wake up, it ought to be shaped and driven by the direction and the destiny that we believe God has given us. Each day should be proportionate to the vision that we believe God has given us. Here's a question. What happened? In the book of Galatians, it's a great book, by the way, if you get an opportunity to read it. It's a book about freedom. The book of Galatians they're a group of people who discovered Jesus Christ through the Apostle Paul. And as a consequence, they began to live a life of freedom. They began to experience God in his fullness. And they began to witness amazing things in their community because they began to live free. But then in chapter 3, verse 1 of Galatians, Paul asked a question in one translation. What happened to you? Who tricked you? Who fooled you? Who bewitched you? Who cast a spell on you? What did you do? What happened? If I could leverage the voice of Paul tonight, if I could imitate him tonight and ask you the same question, what happened to you? What happened to your optimism? What happened to your enthusiasm? What happened to your zeal? What happened to those big goals and those audacious dreams? What happened to them? What happened to that student who couldn't wait to arrive on campus? What happened to him or her? What happened? Who deceived you? Who told us that it wasn't cool to study? Who told us that it was hip not to go to class? Who told us that it was cool to run chicks? I know this is a Christian campus, but we're going to say it anyway. Who told us it was cool to run chicks? And for chicks to run dudes? Who told us that? What happened is the question. Here's what I've been wrestling with. And it haunts me. Somebody asked me the question years ago. They said, if you died today, what would the living have to say about you? I was asked that question at 26 and I'm 44, and that question still gets me up at night. If I died tonight on the way home, what would the living have to say about me? That's a question. What happened to us? How did we get off course? How did we get off track? One of the greatest regrets to have is to live a life trapped in mediocrity. That's good again. One of the greatest regrets to have is to live a life of mediocrity. One of the greatest regrets, one of the greatest heartaches to have is when you wake up years later and you said, I should have, I could have, I would have, if I just. Living a life of regret. I mentioned to you all that I started here. I said that this place has significance to me. This is the first college I attended. This is the first college I didn't graduate from. And it wasn't because I wasn't smart enough to do the work. It wasn't because I got kicked out of the institution. It was because I got off track. It was because I lost focus. It was because I lost sight of why I was really here. And God help y'all. Because we didn't have this when I was here. And I was still distracted. Let me help you with three things. And I'm out of your way, because we got some wings to eat. That's what I do. Three things. No, really, I do wings. Three things. If you're going to maximize who God said you really are, if you're going to get every ounce of your potential out of yourself, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to stay focused. For some of us, it means getting back focused. You're going to have to step out. And that may mean stepping away from some people. And then thirdly, you're going to have to trust the process. You're going to have to stay focused. You're going to have to step out or step away, and then you're going to have to trust the process. If you haven't discovered it already, I played here for a little bit, and so I am an avid sports fan. I love sports of any kind: basketball, football, track, soccer, baseball. I'm watching it all. I just love sports. ESPN apps are all on my phone. I got teams wired, so when something goes on, I turn to it on vibrate. So if something goes down, a major thing goes down, my phone just starts twinkling. It kind of gives me updates. I'm just fanatical about sports. And so I look at sports and I try to draw life analogies. And I watched Adrian Peterson have a career-ending knee injury. And I watched him come back in a year and end up 8 yards shy of the all-time rushing record. May seem like a small feat, but if you've ever had an injury, particularly to your knees, as a matter of fact, I have a big needle that I have to get shots in every 6 months. I got a handicap sticker on my car. Knees aren't no joke. He had a career-ending knee injury. And he was told he wouldn't be able to come back the next year. As a matter of fact, they told him, you may have a 2-year wait before you can suit up again. And preseason of last year, he suited up. And he was 8 yards shy of breaking the all-time rushing record. And I had an opportunity to watch a video on YouTube. Check it out if you want to. And it goes to his process of recovery. His process of getting back to where he was before he got injured. And even as all the naysayers and pundits were telling him he couldn't do it, he stayed focused. He stepped out and he trusted the process. Derrick Rose has done the same thing. He has stayed focused. He has stepped out and he has trusted the process. And if we ain't careful, that boy gonna be MVP again this year. Trust the process. It works. Stay focused. It's for your benefit. Step away. It may be lonely for a moment. But God always cares for his children. It's okay. All them dudes I ran with and did dirt with. The ones that aren't saved now, they still give me a call. Because I'm about the only one that has sense in their life. Stay focused. Stay true. Trust the process. Here's my process and I'm done. I graduated with a 1.9 GPA. I don't know what Coach Garrison saw in me. But he allowed me to come to this institution. And if I ever see him, I'll give him an apology because I blew it. And so I went back home. And I began to do the dirt that I had always begun to do. And my mother gave me two options. Get a job, go to the military. Wasn't cut out for the military. Just ain't my deal. And God bless those who serve, but it just wasn't my deal. Get a job. But I had said, as a kid, when I was asked that question, what do you want to be? My answer is, I don't know, but I want to do whatever Dr. King did. So what do you want to do? Be a reverend? I don't know. No, I don't necessarily want to preach, but I want to do what he did. And that vision stuck with me. And so it took me 5 years to get a 2-year degree, 14 years to get a 4-year degree, and 23 years to get a master's degree. And what changed my life was a woman that I was married to called me to something higher. And I saw those sons that God had blessed me with. And if I was going to be the man that God has called me to be, then I needed to stay focused. I needed to step away from some dudes, and I needed to trust the process. And so my sons don't have no excuse anymore. My daughter doesn't have an excuse anymore. Because they've seen me take care of them, not miss a meal, make sure they had a roof over their head, and still go to school full time. Trust it. Ask yourself this question. God, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? What have you spoken to my spirit about? I didn't ask you what your major was, though that's important. It don't change if you got a year left, you know, something like that. But ask yourself, really, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? What has God spoken to me about? And if you've heard him, and you believe he's true, I want to tell you, in the words of Eric Thomas, talk less, grind more. If you do that, God will open up doors that no man will ever be able to shut. God bless you.